The Arizona sun was just breaking over the red mesas when Jed Calhoun spotted the small figure stumbling across the desert scrub. At first, he thought it might be a coyote, but as he drew closer on horseback, he saw a girl, no more than 8 or 9, barefoot, her dress torn and dust-caked, her dark hair tangled and streaked with tears. Jed reined in his horse and slid from the saddle, moving slow and gentle. The child flinched when he approached, eyes wide with fear. "It's all right, darlin'," he said softly. "Ain't gonna hurt ya." The girl didn't answer. She just stared up at him, her lips cracked, her face streaked with dirt. She looked half-starved, half-dead. Jed unhooked his canteen and offered it to her. She hesitated, then snatched it from his hand and drank greedily until it was nearly empty. "Easy now," he said. "You'll make yourself sick." When she finally looked up again, he could see she was Apache. Her skin had that deep bronze hue of the desert, her eyes dark as onyx. Jed had worked near Apache country before, had even traded a few times, but he knew the tension that hung between settlers and tribes. "What you doin' out here all alone, little one?" he asked. She said something in her own tongue, but he couldn't understand. He caught only one word, Nai, which he thought might be her name. "Nai," he repeated, pointing to her chest. "That your name?" She nodded faintly. "Well, Nai," he said, "you're in bad shape. Let's get you somewhere safe." He lifted her gently onto his horse, mounted behind her, and rode back toward his small homestead near the Verde River. For the next few days, the girl barely spoke. Jed gave her food, water, and a blanket, and let her sleep in his cabin while he camped outside to make her feel less frightened. Bit by bit, she began to trust him. She followed him to the barn, helped feed his mare, and laughed, just once, when the chicken chased him for stealing her eggs. That sound, soft and brief as it was, made Jed realize how empty his place had been before she came. He tried to find out where she belonged. He rode to the trading post, asked around if anyone had seen Apache camps nearby, or heard of raiding parties. Most men just shrugged or told him to leave the Injun kid be. But Jed couldn't do that. He'd lost too much himself to walk away from someone alone in the world. One evening, Nai sat by the fire while he fixed supper. She was tracing patterns in the dirt with a stick when she said, "My mother come." Jed froze. It was the first full sentence he'd heard from her. "Your mama?" he asked. She nodded. "She find me." He didn't know what to make of it. Maybe the child was dreaming, or maybe she'd seen something he hadn't. Still, he stayed alert that night, his rifle close by the bed. 2 mornings later, just as the sun rose, he found tracks near the corral, barefoot, light, but fresh. Apache moccasins, he figured. And then he saw her. She stood on the ridge beyond his barn, still as a statue. A woman in a buckskin dress, long dark hair braided with silver beads that caught the sun. She had the same proud eyes as Nai, but there was pain in them too, deep, old pain. Jed raised his hands, showing he meant no harm. "You her mother." The woman said something sharp in Apache, then switched to halting English. "You take my daughter." "No, ma'am," he said quickly. "I found her lost. She was near dead out there. I just been lookin' to bring her home." The woman studied him a long moment, her eyes flicking toward the cabin. Then, with a soft cry, Nai burst from the doorway and ran to her. The woman knelt, catching her up, murmuring words in their tongue, pressing her face into the girl's hair. Jed turned away, feeling like an intruder on something sacred. When he looked back, the woman was staring at him again. "My name Atsa," she said. My people far from here. Bad men come, kill my husband, burn our camp. I hide Nai. She run. I think, she die. Jed felt a tightness in his chest. I'm sorry. I didn't know. She nodded, eyes hard. You good man, maybe. You help her. I tried, he said simply. Atsa studied him again, her gaze sharp but curious. You live alone. Yeah. Ain't got much company out here but my horse. She gave a faint smile that barely reached her eyes. You take care like family. For that, I thank you. She stayed that night, and Jed shared what food he had. Beans, cornbread, and a bit of venison. They sat outside beneath the stars, the girl sleeping between them. Atsa told him more of her story, how her husband, a warrior named Chaska, had been ambushed by outlaws posing as traders. How she had fled into the desert with her daughter and survived on what little the land gave. Jed listened quietly. There was something in her voice that struck him, not weakness, but strength wrapped around sorrow. Over the next few days, Atsa lingered.